We're back with game number 2 between OMG and V5, and honestly, y'all, last game we got really excited about the draft, and I think reasonably so. Riven's really cool.
I liked it. I liked it.
But
no. All right, we couldn't even set it up. They just threw it out there. Take a look at OMG's composition, by the way.
That's as good a setup as we can get, really.
Yeah, that's true.
But take a look for yourself. I mean, Sejuani, okay, cool.
Yep, Sejuani top lane is what I'm looking at. I mean, Sejuani jungle, Camille top. We'll have to see which one it actually is. And then Yasuo mid. So, like, that. No, I was wrong. I got it right to begin with. So it was a Sejuani support, Camille top, Xin Zhao jungle. And then I just look at it again, and I'm like, no, I'm just mystified. But yeah, so that's the composition OMG went back with. And then, like, all of that was crazy enough, and we haven't even talked about the Vayne. So I'd love to see how how it actually played out. Because the game was fast. It was a fast tumble game, so I actually don't think Vayne has much to work with in terms of timing here.
I'm so glad I'm not you at this
it's
moment.
It's a Vayne mid! What?
Oh man, I'm so glad I'm not you right now.
But like, honestly, no, that's fine. That's fine. I liked it. I liked it. Like, we've seen Vayne mid in every other region, specifically into the Galio pick. Okay, I was just, whoo! And the Yasuo is something that we've seen a lot from Chelly into Vayne. Let's get this game
all these unique picks make sense, and now that we have the full picture, it's starting to shape up here for a spicy game 2 between OMG and Victory 5.
I'm not even going to wait for the audience to go for it. So yes, Chelly has gone towards Yasuo into Kai'Sa pretty frequently. It's a good matchup. She has a low range to really walk in. So it's actually forced Y4 into going cleanse because she's dealing with the Sejuani support. I love the bottom lane because at first I was like, I really dislike the Vayne into bottom lane because that's scaling. Like, that Vayne and Sejuani as a pick for me into Kai'Sa Alistar, that takes time, and we already saw how little time they had in the last game with the composition they had rolling with them. So I thought they are going to have about the same amount of time. Great thing about Vayne mid is it has great pressure in lane versus the Galio. So it's going to be Galio that might be pushing early, as you can see, but you can already look at Icon just walking in. The trades are just dramatically in her favor.
It's so funny because looking at the draft initially, I was like, did someone just throw up an RNG for champion picks? But no, it actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just get a look at the entire draft without just like the time to really consume it in the pick and ban process, because that was a Vayne last pick. And a Vayne last pick, knowing that you're going up against the Galio, you could pretty much track that that's going to be a Chelly Yasuo once again. So this time around, we're going to be getting best 16 on the right rune keystone, going in towards Hail of Blades. Last series, we got to see Dark Harvest Xin Zhao. I still believe, and I think one of the questions that should be asked in the interview is, did you misclick, buddy? But it worked out for Ike.
Man, if he didn't, that's going to be a mean interview question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. That's why I'm not an interviewer.
That's right. That's why we're stuck here on the desk and we get to talk about this matchup. And I genuinely don't know how this top lane matchup is supposed to go, but so far it's not going great for Ale.
Oh, it should definitely work well for Riven. Riven just has great ability and damage. I think also she has a little bit of mobility to work with the Camille, because the way Camille usually works out in trades is either she walks up, auto attacks you, gets her passive up, and that sometimes is good enough against like tankier options, or she uses her E to get the stun across and give her time to work with. Riven has an ability that is a shield and a dash forward, can really muck up the trajectory that Camille has, and on top of that is just a great shield to outtrade, if it's long enough, the Camille fight. So I like it. It also just has the raw damage that I already referred back to that Renekton has in the matchup. So she's going to be at her turf for some time.
I'm trying to look at OMG's composition now and seeing what parts of a general team comp you're looking at, because they have the damage, they have the engage, as you're seeing now from 5, getting the stun. A lot of damage here, but returning onto Chelly and 5. It's not looking good for them. Dodge out the tornado from Y4, and now OMG's bot lane looking worse for wear.
Yeah, great return damage. Remember, Sejuani, for the damage that she got, wasn't able to apply to the Kai'Sa. She kited back well. She lost a lot of resistances on her passive, from total armor and magic resist to just bonus. So like, earlier on in the game, she's very squishy. So you're just going to see her. She has Ignite. So when she goes for the all-in, she's going to commit to it.
Now, V5. Both bot lanes kind of reset now in terms of health. Lei getting poked out a little bit. We haven't even talked about the jungle as much, but we're going to get a chance here as Ben4, once again looking for a gank. On the top side. Don't think he was seen by Ala.
By Ala.
Jinu trying to bait it out. There's the body slam. There's the W. Ala making it out.
Ooh. Was able to get to the wall as well. I think Jinu already used his W, so he couldn't get the stun to really cancel that out. And of course, you can just buffer it as well. So, well done to get out of that. Because I thought that Ben4 had timed the gank incredibly well. Past the passive armor that you saw from Ale had expired by the time that Jinu and Ben4 all in.
Something similar happened last game, and then we saw that crazy 3-man gank. But this time, no such luck. Jinu backs as well. We'll return to lane shortly.
Only thing that Vayne has to really worry about in the gank, I mean, in the lane is the gank. Specifically just seeing Ben4 look at him. You have a bit of mobility with your Q. He also has cleanse and flash, so you should never be an issue. But he wants to keep the damage going. Lei could get a gank here.
Here comes the Predator. Lei gonna back off, as is Ben4 potentially. No luck there from V5.
They knew that they wouldn't be able to get much out of it. Y4 has low HP and mana, so they just decided to get away from it.
This is a brutal matchup mid. Icon really just has absolute control of the lane because there's nothing you can do as a Galio, especially when you can't even clear the wave. Like, you just don't have the AP for it. So you see him stuck just barely farming.
Even the small aspect of like just having true damage for, like if Korn ever goes in and uses his aftershock, not going to be an issue with the true damage that Vayne can provide. So there's so much about the matchup that works well for the Vayne. So you're right. I mean, it was decent enough wave clear that Korn can provide, but why would you clear wave if you can't fully push it into the tower? You're just making the lane worse for yourself.
Now top and mid both losing here for victory 5, and OMG's going to take this chance to take the Infernal Dragon just 6 minutes in. 5 doing a lot to help out in that take, getting the extra damage down with the E and the passive. Now Korn just going to head back mid. It's looking a lot worse for V5.
Yeah, definitely just because of the pressure that the lanes are really getting into. Last time around, they had easy pressure with mid lane jungle synergy. This time around, Icon has just completely wiped that out. And there's a Xin Zhao that's just looking you down. So, yep, Halo Blaze Xin Zhao versus Gragas. Gragas doesn't want any part of that.
And I really wish we'd gotten to get through the draft as a whole, because I think the way it works is so interesting here, because Ben is stuck on an engage that isn't as simple as Xin or Camille. Things can get in the way of it. They pick away one and he's like, okay, I think I got it. They take away 2 just from the picks of his jungle choices. So now he's stuck on something he may not be as comfortable on.
I still think that Gragas is a great option naturally to these picks. Not as engage, because I do agree with your engage point, but mostly as the counter engage. If you ever see Ale jump into 5 people, or, you know, just jumps in to find a pick and open the space for his team, same goes to 5 or even best 16. The natural option that you have has been the Gragas Cask. Throws out the ultimate, isolates his target, his team can blow him up, especially with the Alistar and Galio. There's 100% follow-up to really nail the kill. So if you're OMG now, later on in this game, how do you really follow up on a lot of these fights? Like, you have a great composition. You really are just saying to yourself, put ourselves in side lanes and split them up. Make it so Galio doesn't have an easy engage. If he's on the side lane, great, that's the best option. If Galio is mid, then punish him with the Vayne mid pick and just push him into tower constantly. There is no right answer for Korn.
So far, it's showing in the gameplay. OMG taking an early lead in the game, but just 700 gold. An Infernal Dragon, a little bit more significant. Ben4 not able to find pressure on the best 16 here, so V5 need to find something that they can push as an advantage, and I think right now the bot lane is one of the better choices because they already have an advantage there. BF Sword compared to Zerker Greaves. It's a lot of damage disparity.
Yeah, it's definitely the side lane. Bottom lane working out, and Jinu's trying his hardest here.
Might be able to get the stun follow-up.
Oh!
Going to Lanny, interrupts
Goodbye.
the E.
Woo!
First blood.
Where are you going? Where are you flashing?
Where are you at?
Jinnu puts him down. So well done, and that's what I was talking about. There was no escape with Jinnu on top of him, just waiting to stun him.
This is what we wanted to wait for, and Jinnu apparently waiting himself to get an opportunity like that, using his entire kit just to counter Camille's disengage. And he's playing it brilliantly. You know, it shows his experience on Riven as well. And he can play this matchup as well as he did just then. Ben 4 looking for an engage. Oh, man. Chelly. Fast fingers on that flash.
Look, he just flashed. What happened there was Ben 4 just laying everything out, buffering his, getting everything out there, saying, I will get him 100%, and I'm just going to use my ultimate the moment it happens. If you just think too hard about it, and once he flashes, then yeah, you're just going to use an ultimate for no reason. I think that you just should have waited a little bit more. I think committing to the flash is fine because you get a flash or flash, but then you don't have to use your ultimate until you actually body bop. So wait until the body bopping happens, and then you can use your ultimate.
Now he'll be without that, and he's already down in farm compared to the best 16. So going to see that top lane game.
This is what I live for. So yeah, of course, this is ultimate. Gets right on top of him. I'm just waiting for this. Trying to hit the corner of the wall. That would have hit, by the way. But he stuns him in the motion. All of that was as tilted as he will get right now in the LPL. Because it was just Jinnu outplaying him.
With a lot of knowledge of the champion that most people can't say. So Jinnu bringing back the lane in the top side. This should give V5 a little bit more control if he can keep it up. Especially against the wave clear of the now Tiamat Camille. Might be a little bit of trouble for him.
So like they didn't get the Camille in their team. They're going and talking about the draft. Camille was picked away from them in the first rotation for OMG. But their composition is still very easy to follow. Like they still got the Galio and Alistar. Lay's Alistar is insane. And the Kai'Sa is always going to be there to follow up. Oh, Ollie's going to have a tough time once again.
Oh, that time Jinnu not close enough to interrupt.
Yeah, but now he just has to hold that L because the minion wave. Oh, wait a second.
Here comes Predator, but Icon's there too. Hero's entrance gets the knockup on the best 16. He has the ult ticking, flashes away. But Lay is there to intercept. Y4 picks up the kill.
The moment the call was made, you see it in the minimap, Lay and Y4 rotate. They're like, we're coming. You don't have to worry about it. Ollie also wants none of that. Just great communication from Victory 5. That was the one question I had about this team was with, if the call is made, are members going to follow? Yes, they are.
Jinnu looking for the engage once again. Gets the W
stop
flawlessly.
It. Stop!
Come on, that's too good. And 2 kills for Jinnu.
What the hell's happening? What?
Okay, that happened apparently. Icon still alive, chasing down onto Lay as Chelly looks for the engage. Meanwhile, on top lane, Jinnu
hit him!
Flash, double flash, 3 kills.
Welcome to the pit. Right now, Jinnu is the gladiator. I don't care, Y4. Get out of my face. Jinnu is a star right now. Members keep flying his way, and he keeps picking up the kills. That being said, now I will recognize Y4. This tower is free because he just got a kill in mid lane. Icon is feeling it.
This team is so sick in ways I never expect, and I'm really excited to see them, especially now on stage. I wanted this to be their debut game now that we've seen it, because it shows that they know how to play around a pick that is, by all means, super unconventional, and they know how to adapt to the changing state of the game. Like, look at this once again, top lane versus top lane.
And so he's just literally waiting until Ale tries for it. Canceled it the second time he's done it. And at this point, there's no escape. That's easy. But my question is, what happened to Sejuani? Where was she? Oh, there she was stuck between a Shelly and a hard place. Like, honestly, 5 knew he was dead the moment he actually went for the kill on towards Greg.
But he did stop the Rift Herald, so that's cool.
What happened here? Oh, it's just, okay, an assassination. I see that.
I see you, Y4. I see you.
Simple and clean.
OMG might get their second dragon off of this. No contest coming in from V5. W's there to get the vision, if nothing else. It resets for a second. Still be picked up by OMG.
At least they get something back for it, but the top side of the map is just out of control right now. 3 kills, 600 gold bounty right now for Jinnu. He is insanely far ahead of what is just literally double Doran's Blade and a Tiamat there for Ale. He cannot be in the same hemisphere as Jinnu.
Jinnu taking over with the ribbon. Like you said, if it falls behind, it looks absolutely awful. But once it gets this lead, it's very hard to take it away.
And he just has a great, like, last time around I said that the Camille Galio composition will not come back. like the Camille was taken away, but the Galio is still up for grabs. So like they're gonna get their hands on these champions. Korn is gonna be consistently picking up whenever he can, and it just allows so much freedom to carry in the top lane.
Woo! Oh, good ultimate there from 5, but Ben 4 getting the knockback before he's stunned up. That was dirty.
That was a good buffer. You know, he knew it was gonna happen, and so he threw it out, buffered the ultimate, and the only one that really got, who really had the option to engage.
Oh no, Ben.
No, get out of here.
Ben, no. Don't do it, Ben. Jinu's there, but don't do it. Jinu! Oh, he needs to get it onto Ale, but Ale gets the kill onto Ben 4. Teleport coming in from Korn. They should be able to take out Ale, but suddenly Korn stuck between 3 people. So much damage from Icon, but he's forced away. Best 16 taking out double kill for Riven. Jinu 5-0-0 at 14 minutes.
Yeah, that was his Galio saying, you could hit me as much as you want, but my team was just about to finish up with your Camille. Like right now, V5 is so far ahead. They are completely snowballed. I wonder how much gold is in Jinu's pockets, because with how often these fights keep going, he doesn't have the time to base, but he really should to just get his black lead.
They just absolutely destroyed 5 from under tower.
This reminds me of scrims. Like, this is something that you pause in. This is something you do not finish. At the very least, you don't want this on your match history.
This is something you want to question mark ping all your teammates for. Alt F4. But OMG can still bring it back.
Yeah, they do. Like, they can. Like, but take a look at this. Ben 4 uses his E, so he is completely out. He like had the flash, still got blown up. But with how long this was being played for, the teleport that comes in, Korn just says, I will hold them firm. Even though he got pushed back, he at least made it so Ben 16 could not leave. That was enough for the trade back.
Man, Jinu's nuts.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to get Riven again. Like, ever.
Well, he's going to have to, like, there's so much to, right now you have to ban. Like, Cassio's a must ban. Aatrox, I guess Aatrox isn't a must ban, but like, there are so many picks that right now you do not want Jinu on. Because his Aatrox is amazing. He spammed that champion so much right now. Like, so if you're saying, well, he's not going to get Riven anymore, then he's going to do the same thing on Aatrox. I think the one issue that we're having here is that there was such a priority on picking away the Camille, and they picked the Sejuani along with it, then you're asking yourself, where is the Camille going to go now, right? And then they had a chance to rectify the issue, put Camille in the jungle, but then in the second phase, they doubled down by putting a Xin Zhao in the second phase. So in terms of drafting, the moment you see that there's a possibility for a Riven player to get the Riven that he got in the last game, that you can hold yourself back and give priority because OMG got the last pick, but they prioritized last pick for Icon naturally, and then gave Ale what he has been comfortable with in other games, but this was not the player or the time to do it against.
Now, and it seems like the draft prioritized creativity and lost effectiveness as a result, and Jinu is going to get chased down here. Icon can take out this chase anytime unless Jinu wants to turn it, but the flash guarantees. Oh!
That's beautiful.
I'm sorry, Jinu. I'm sorry. I respect it. There goes the engage from Lei. The ult dunk. Y4 picks up the kill.
Yep. That was 2 members that were really convinced that they could take the kill on top of Riven. I thought that was going to happen. Hops over the wall. So, amazing outplay from Jinu, giving the opportunity from V5 to act bot side.
Now Ala going to get the consolation prize up the blue buff, but doesn't really matter a whole lot. He just lost the tower, lost a flash on his mid laner for a kill attempt onto Jinu.
This is the most impressive victory you can have if you're Victory 5. Their previous series were just difficult. I mean, the fact that they lost to TOP, I saw that coming. There was still great team fights in that series as well that I looked at and said, you know what? This team has something. They have some potential. They went up against BLG, and that one is when you're like, okay, well, you know, they have a great coaching staff, but I'm not seeing it now. I'm not seeing the setup. BLG has it, and, you know, ADD went wild. Like, when is Jinu going to come off? And you finally get to see that in this series. OMG. Even though they came in with their like hot fresh commodity in the top lane talent, Jinu's still showcasing that he's got that oomph in his champion pool and in his play.
Now Jinu continues his dominance of the top lane. They're going to send Icon to try and stop him, but if Jinu ever gets a better angle there, he's screwed.
Exactly. Like, this is another sequel to Gladiator. You don't even need to send members here.
That was a good condemn, but now he doesn't have it anymore. By Icon, getting assassinated there. Killer Instinct as well. 5, the next one to fall. And now best 16 as well. Double kill so far for Kaisa, staying alive. Ben4 dies, but so does almost the entirety of OMG. Shelly limping away, gets taken out. The triple for Kaisa, and Y4 runs away with the fight.
That was the longest tower dive I've seen in Season 9 tower damage meta. And they were just juggling it like madmen. So well done. If you're Ben, oh no, get out of here, best 16. You want to get out of here immediately.
Yeah, just give them that inhibitor. You can't fight this. 4 seconds till Icon's up. 5 as well. So now V5 are going to have to back up. But in Hip Tower, they have pressure on the inhibitor now, and once again, winning another team fight.
There are certain pings right now that V5 is going for. Probably finding new places to ward and look for a fight. They do need to base right now, so right now V5's got to relax. Baron's coming up in 30 seconds. There's not much you can do anymore. You just demoralize the team. So as I said, I thought Jiddu was going to play Gladiator and just going to take this 1v2. Amazing cancellation in the headbutt from Icon, but that's all he had the time for. He just got blown up. The rest of the team's gone. I think that V5 came in as fast as possible, taking advantage of the snowball that Jiddu had for himself. Really great job from this team.
Ala pushing down into the bot lane. Once again, he's going to find Jiddu though, so if I were him, I'd run away real quick, and he does. Now, V5 putting pressure onto the Baron.
What's hard going up against V5 is not about the 8k gold lead that they have, but the 2 Zhonyas that their engage options have now. Zhonya's on Korn and Ben4 means that when they start out the fight, they can stay in a little bit longer. They are much more comfortable now being the ones to go in. Here we go.
Best 16 diving in. Ben4 makes it out with the help of the flash.
Yeah, wasn't in position for his team to be comfortable in that fight. Other situations, he'd just go golden and allow his, well, he's just wait on Korn ulti and then just, you know, press Zhonyas. But in that situation, didn't want to play anything. But he thought there was an opportunity for OMG to win that fight.
Now, vision around Baron going to get cleared out by Victory 5 here. Still looking for the flank, still looking for a fight. If they can pick off one, Baron's free. But if Icon gets into that fight, it looks bad for him. So now OMG doing their best to keep the vision in control. They could just stall this out.
Oh, who are you looking for?
Oh, Lay's coming in. Oh, good ultimate from Best 16 will delay the fight. Ben!
All right, bring in Pepper immediately.
Sell out. Mid-game substitution, please.
Yeah, right now. But that was, at this point, they can keep doing that, right? Look at Lay. He's just going to...
Oh, he's so threatening. Bye! Best 16 getting taken out there. And they just keep setting up these crazy, easy ganks for themselves.
That's what's really upsetting is because they only really leave 2 members in the pit. This time they're doing 3. But they are so committed to looking for the fight. Korn has flash. What do you even do to stop this?
Well, apparently engage onto Korn as 4 members, but suddenly they're going to get him, but he goes golden, and now 5 falls. The next up is going to be Chelly. Ale once back in. Icon looking for the flank, tries to get the kill. Ale's forced out of the fight, and now Victory 5 can chase him down. Jinnu looking for his 6th kill of the game. Oh! And he gets it.
Yeah, that was a thick wall. He tried to go over it, but nah, that's not possible. That was a tough position. I thought that Icon had the best positioning for the fight, but they were sectioned around the banana bush. The banana bush was keeping Korn, Ben4 all safe. So, your Icon in that situation, he's well and alive, and he was dishing a lot of damage, but he couldn't commit any harder.
Now Baron will go over to Victory 5, an easy pickup for them. Now you just look at the scoreboard and you wonder what OMG can do. 6-0-7 on Jinnu, 2-0-9 on Korn, and 9-0-5 on Y4.
At least Camille's finished her Triforce. No Rage Blade or your second item, whatever it may be on Icon. At this point in time, they are still so slow in picking up their own items because of the deficit that they have. So Yasuo, Vayne, 2 super carry options that are just nowhere ready for this.
Icon looking to pick up another item if he's able to. Going to be looking towards the Rage Blade, but at this point, like you said, it's pretty late in the game to be picking up your second item now that everyone on the enemy team has got theirs. You know, maybe looking for a gank here.
Maybe they can dig themselves out of this. I mean, at this point, they have 3 pickaxes, so they can ship around, mine themselves out.
If they were playing Minecraft, man, they'd have this one in the bag.
Oh, easy. Easy. Doesn't matter how deep a hole they dig themselves into, but that's not the case. No, they're having a tough time. This is not this right now. Lei is fishing. Like this is it's over. Let's go.
Oh, there's the knockback. Chelly, goodbye. Yasuo gets knocked back into the team. Y4, that means he gets a free pickup. And Jinu, meanwhile, in the bot lane, going crazy. And Icon stuck there on the vein, trying to get the kill onto Ben 4. Gets out alive, but Jinu says not for much longer. Flashes over. He's chasing him down. He wants it. Jinu, get him. There it is, 7-0-7. Icon taken down, and this should be the win for Victory 5.
That's not how that movie ends. Forrest gets out. All right, well, V5 is this is easy positioning. Right now, they're waiting on best 16 and 5 to try for something, but Korn is in.
Best 16 with a stopwatch, but now they're just taking down the Nexus turrets while Korn distracts, picking up best 16, and now OMG for the second time this weekend lose another series.
Yeah, probably the most demoralizing week, good few days that OMG has had. Shock blasted by TOP, and then got riven by Jinu. Like, this was probably the worst kind of days you'll be having if you're OMG. But it's a lesson, it's an experience. And it is an experience that I'm glad we all got to see. Jinu got his riven 2 games in a row. He was able to style something that we never saw on LGD. It was always, he picks his carry options, he goes towards the Jace or something, you maybe go towards the Riven, but there wasn't the cohesion that would back him up. This time around they picked for it, like the Galio was always there, but even further than that, Lei was roaming top. Like the team was always looking to help and support him if there was ever members in the area, so it was Jinu really getting that chance to fly.
And this is so great for Victory 5 just in general, because now they finally earned the first word in their name. They can finally call themselves Victory 5. And it's got to feel so good, so validating after a rough first 2 series. They figured out how they want to play together. They got their synergy together. And honestly, they were kind of gifted the draft a little bit by OMG getting that combo with the Galio twice in a row and Lei on the Alistar, but they earned it. They earned the use of that draft, and they proved that they can work well with it.
Yeah, I think OMG played too. Like, regardless of the bans themselves, I think the pickups that OMG had were just too cute. Specifically the Ale pick. Ale going towards Camille and the Xin Zhao in the second phase were the only things that I'll second guess, because they had so many jungle options here that I would have liked to have seen the Camille go away from the top side, knowing that you're going up against a Riven player. He knows the matchup. Ale knows. He just went into it and he faced that fire. So that's unfortunate for him. And I think that regardless of the matchup, what we also saw was just better cohesion, team fighting overall from Victory 5. Something we didn't see in the BLG set, but something we certainly saw with Lei leading the pack with them.
And they really looked so good. With Lei engaging those fights, it was absolute perfection, especially in game 1 when he got that 4-man knock-up into the 4-man hero's entrance. So much damage in such a short time. They pulled the trigger, and they know how to work as a unit now. That's so great to see. But on the other hand of things, OMG really starting to disappoint a little bit. I'm not ready to say that they're worse than I thought. But I am ready to start thinking it and not saying it, and heavily implying to everyone watching.
Wait a minute!
Yeah,
sound like a lot of people's wives right now.
All right, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say that I think they can't play without Allah having a winning matchup. I'm not going to say that if Icon also doesn't get ahead, OMG look lost. I am, however, little piggy friend, going to say that OMG today look real bad.
Yeah, they looked unfortunate. I think what we saw was not only just the experience that we touched on a little bit, best 16 getting outpathed in certain areas, but mostly just like whenever it came to bringing the team together, Victory 5 were the first to the punch. Better drafting, I thought that worked out well. We were right, in agreement with that, just simply because of how they got locked down mid lane. But also, I mean, Ben 4, last time we saw Ben 4, we called him the highlight hunter when he was on BLG. But there was a reason they took him off. It was because while he was great in those moments, he had moments. He was too green at that time, and also on top of that, couldn't get the vision control down there. When he went up against smarter, more experienced junglers, a lot of times he just got outpathed. This time around, it feels like he had so much time to work with. This is his second opportunity, a second chance at getting back into the LPL, working with a lot of experienced people to flank him. that now he seems, especially looking down the path of best 16, like I was in your position once, boy. I was in that same seat, but now I'm in a much better area. I had the experience of like of being on what was a losing squad on BLG and being able to take that somewhere, really learn from it, and that's why I'm really high on Ben 4 now.
Yeah, but speaking of turnarounds, I mean, I think the most impactful one we saw is going to be nobody's surprised that the MVP last game, Jinnu.
Oh, he's trying to slash you. Think of that as the blade right now. That's the blade. Every single time he fixes it right up, presses the ult button, he's ready to slash you.
It looks sort of like that one painting with Adam and God where he's holding out his finger and Ribbon's the hand of God.
You're right.
It's so perfect, though,
you can
because
see it touching.
That really was Jinnu being given the power of Ribbons.
You know what? It's touching. It's just the advertisement that's doing it for him.
It is. It's so perfect. It's almost like it was planned, and I hope it was.
I hope it was.
Because he earned it. 75% kill participation, almost 30% damage share on Ribbon in a competitive match against OMG, who at least before today, were looking pretty good.
I think a lot of people should be, I think specifically, I'll send this one out to North America. A lot of people are sleeping. But FlyQuest, you have a certain Riven player out there. He's pretty damn good. And you also have a Galio player named Pobelter. I'm not saying you should completely copy what this composition and, you know, just study this game emphatically. You guys are already winning. You're fine. Please do so.
I think now they're just going to send in an email to their head coach. It's going to have nothing but a link to these VODs and the eyeballs emoji.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just going to be the whole message. And they'll be like,
throw that into Discord immediately. I think this was a great day just because we had two teams that were able to get themselves out of like 0 game deficits. Like immediately first series we saw Vici finally get a win. Like that was much needed, right? If they had not, then they would have been 0-3, and a lot of questions would be like, is this the same Vici we saw last year? Just new faces. Not the case. Not only are they performing in the game, but they're able to finish the job. And then what we saw as later today was just 100%. You finally see the win coming out of Victory 5. I think Clement's the happiest man on earth right now because I've been talking them down. He's been saying, no, they have great players. They'll get the job. They will win a series. They will finish higher. I think he says they'll finish higher than SDG. It's a bet that we're having out there. But you know what? They performed just like they did right now. I may have to shut up. Like I think, like right now, Clement's proving a point.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing for all these teams is they are all proving that they're LPL contenders. And, you know, this year, this split, I feel like the teams are a lot closer. There's a lot of contention. The standings are getting shaken up all over the place, especially last night and today even more. I mean, look at it. This is no longer the undefeated streaks we've seen from all the teams. There's been some shakeups.
Teams have been pushing themselves to improve, digging into their developmental teams. Like teams that we saw in the past that have just done poorly have gotten better. OMG's gotten better. They didn't take a win, but they've gotten better. WE, you know, they have gotten better. It's just the issue of, like, once again, competition. It doesn't matter if you got better than what you were last year. You have to look at the court, the people around you, the 15 other teams. That's what LGD's facing. They may have Condi, world semifinalist jungler, but they still need to find that first victory.
And I think if you look at everyone in the standings, you can, for every single team, argue that there's a reason that they might be able to come back. You can argue that there's a reason they should be in the LPL. They should be considered contention teams. Yes, WE and LGD are not looking good right now, but we've seen tiny sparks of brilliance, sparks of ideas that could lead eventually at one point, at some time in the future, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe after the Chinese New Year, maybe
next year.
Maybe next year, but maybe to a win. And maybe to higher in the standings. And that's, I think, really exciting for a lot of these teams. Is because last split, I felt like there were some teams where we could just clearly say, no. No. We could just look at them in the eyes and they'd be like, casters, do we have a chance? And we just be like the cruel adults in Oliver Twist and be like, no. You're a poor orphan team and you'll never get a win.
Wait a minute. But yeah, like last year, like last split, it really did feel like certain teams weren't like, you know, did take them a full year, so we had a lot of, you know, look at the team to be able to say that. I think that with this time around, beginning of the year, that specifically you go back to LGD, I really love the fact that they are really cultivating talent like Yuki. We even saw their new top laner Naris. Like, that's really cool to see. That's what I love about like the secondary league, developmental league. A lot of that, you get to see some amazing players that you'll like. An average viewer will never see them until they find themselves on that stage. And so LGD that get that second chance get to be able to put them on top of that. OMG also doing the same. So OMG, remember, has an 8-team roster, like an 8-man roster. So like that will come to fruition. You'll be able to see success. And I think that with what happened today, they get to learn new lessons. But I learned a lesson. I still love Genu. Like, that's my lesson for what we've got to see today.
That's a lesson I'm happy to take home, and we'll see a little bit more of the Developmental League former members coming up in the matches of the week, and they'll be the final ones here in Week 3 before the break.
Yeah, and so what we'll see is, tomorrow's game, tomorrow's Tuesday, so be able to watch it on Huyan Do, LGD versus TOP, WE versus EDG. WE versus EDG is something that you still have to see. If we're not going to be covering it because it's a Tuesday, like that's the El Clasico. Every single time these teams face, it goes to like a 3-game series. Every single time you look at it, it's like, it's not going to go to 3 games. It's not going to go to 3 games at all. I know technically EDG does it with every team, but like, like even when it wasn't the case, like the LGD and WE, you always see the best out of that team because teams always feel like they should play up, that they should be at their best, prepare a little bit harder. They're going to be able to take down EDG.
And these are the teams that are currently at the bottom, LGD and WE, and they could surprise us tomorrow. They could show us what they've been keeping in store. WE, they've got a lot of people on the roster. Yep. They could find the switch up like some teams have recently that make them competitive, that make them work.
They may be 0-2, but remember one thing that they, I'll say 2 things, CA and Mystic. If you have CA and Mystic, you'll win games because they are that talented. Mystic has consistently been like top 380 carry. If we're just talking about, like, it's a rough one. Remember, the LPL is super tough. Only reason why he ain't higher is because a lot of times WE were not playing him last year. So now you're in a position where he's playing consistent games. He is going to win you lanes. And his team fighting has always been exceptional. It's just a matter of time for WE to show up.
And then we also, of course, have the games on Wednesday, which are going to be the last games on the English broadcast before the Chinese New Year. But there's some good ones, Raz.
Last things you get to see before we go off in the Chinese New Year's. Invictus Gaming in the Snake Pit and Suning versus FPX are undefeated teams. One of them is going to be standing tall. That's all I have to tell you. One of these teams will be the lone team standing tall above the rest. IG lost versus JDG, and now it's just Suning and FPX, and one of them is going to be the best in the LPL in the spring split.
One of them is going to end the day undefeated, go into break and say, hey,
that's it.
We killed it before vacation. Let's take it easy, guys.
Just stream.
Everyone else going to be a little bit stressed. Whoever wins that matchup, free as a bird for the entire break. And that's going to be so great to see. That, of course, is Wednesday's matches. Tuesday's matches you'll have to check on Huya or Doyu. But for us tonight, that's going to wrap it up, Raz.
It was nice to be here, of course. That's going to be it for us today. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Hope you enjoy the games. We'll have more.